Welcome back in another video. In this video, we talk about money. We're gonna look at what is your relationship with money, what is your money story, and how can you change that story so that you can attract more abundance, more prosperity, and fundamentally change your relationship with money so that it can flow more freely into your life, into your experience. Okay? Let's face it, money is one of the most important things in life. It is very hard to do almost anything, to provide to our food, even your basic need without money. So that means that it's a very polarizing thing because it can create a lot of scarcity, it can create a lot of stress, it can create a lot of depression, a lot of fight, a lot of conflict, but it can also bring a lot of freedom, a lot of joy, a lot of possibility, a lot of expression, a lot of possibilities. And it really depends on how much money you have, and how much money you have and how you experience it, how you spend it, what you believe about it, depends on your money story. So we could say that your money story, the relationship that you have with your money, is reflecting in your interaction with money and how you manifest, create, attract, and perpetuate certain financial conditions in your life. And this is where it gets very important, because you see, money in and out of itself is neutral. It doesn't mean anything, it doesn't represent anything, it's simply a tool that allows us to exchange paper money or digital money now for a service, for a product, for an experience, for something that somebody else have, and they want something that we have the money and we trade. So in and out of itself is a beautiful tool that makes life easier or harder, depending on how much money you have. But you see, what the mind does is that it projects beliefs and emotion and perception on money. And so we don't see money as it is a neutral thing or just an energy or a tool. We see it based on who we are and our relationship and our story that we created and that we project on money. And this is what changed and altered the dynamic that you have with money. So if your relationship with money is scarce and that it's lacking and that it's never enough and that it's hard to get and that it takes a lot of hard work, your relationship with money obviously is not going to be a happy, peaceful one, but it's going to be reflected in your life experiences, in what you need to do to have money, and how much comes in, how much easily goes out, and all these kind of dynamics that we have around money. But in the same way, if you have a healthy relationship with money and you know that there is no lack in this universe and you truly believe that it flows and that the more you give, the more comes, you can have a very different experience about money. Both are true. It simply depends what you choose to believe, what you choose to tell yourself about money and what your money story is. So we're gonna look into it. We're gonna look at how you can change it, how you can become aware of some of that story, some of those beliefs, some of those patterns that may be blocking the flow of prosperity and abundance in your life. All right. So before we go into this video, guys, I wanna thank you for being here, for watching this video. And if you wanna see more of this kind of videos, subscribe to this channel and make sure to see all the videos. All right, guys. Now, first things first, what I want to do is share what used to be my money story and how it affected my life. Because you see, the story we create around money usually starts when we are kids, in childhood, and then every personal experience that we have grows and reinforces usually that story. That's the main pattern that I see. So depending on the relationship that your parents had around money, the type of environment you grew up in, how readily available money was, and the society around you, the teacher, the friend, all of these kind of things affected your relationship with money, and then all your personal experience growing up and through adult life also consolidate or change your money story. So for me, money was equal hard work. That's what my parents told me. That's what they were living by. That's, I saw my parents doing, the normal job and then taking side job and, working long hours just to have extra source of income so we can do different things, buy different things, and, provide for the family and everything that we needed. So everything required to have money was linked to working. So from a very young age and then at school and everything like that, I was always, taught, get a job, study a job that will get you money, that will give you a good job, that will be stable, that will bring you security and all these kind of things. That was the frame. But there was also a lot of beliefs around, modesty and being humble, okay? I remember, my parents, especially my mom, saying things like, oh, you don't want to show how much you have. You don't want to be too, greedy with money. You don't want to have too much. You don't want to, show certain things to other people as well. So there was this thing about keeping appearances, being like other people, not standing out, and just having enough, but not too much, because that would be wrong in a certain way. All right. So it was all about that fake freaking modesty. And it's kind of weird, but that was the belief. Then there was this belief about rich people are bad people. And that was just a thing, all the problems, whether it was on the news, whether my parents were talking to their friend or whatever was happening, everything seems to always be the cause of a rich person. All the problems somehow were linked to money. And it was always because of money. See, that negative belief that everything bad is because of money really was pervasive. And so we could say that it was reinforcing this money is the root of all evil. If we remove money or if we take money away from bad people, the world would be a better place. But you see how deeply ingrained all those experiences were, and so many other dynamics around money, and how that can shape your life, how you see money, how you go about it, and how you interact with money. So for me, it really created a lot of pattern, because money was not only linked to hard work, but also to my self-esteem. The more money I had, the better I felt about myself. The less money I had, the more stressful, the more anxious, the lower my confidence, the more doubt I had. And so when I became self-employed, and when I was starting to, be like, what, now I'm responsible for this business making money. I'm responsible for bringing money in. I'm responsible for making sales. I'm responsible for all of this. My anxiety went through the roof. When I had months, where they were down and money was not flowing in and things were hard, it was really paralyzing. It was really overwhelming. I really felt the scarcity, and it was one of those hardest things to experience is poverty, not having enough, worrying about where is the next money gonna come, how you're gonna pay the bill. And it can really make everything in life related to money. And so I found myself at some point early as a coach and started this business, was that everything was hard and I was questioning everything. So you could see how my self-image, my self-esteem was linked and entangled with money. So obviously the lower your self-esteem, the more things go wrong, and the vicious cycle becomes intensified. But all of this to say that it had nothing to do with money, it had everything to do with me. What I was taught about money, my relationship, the energetic, and the fact that if I wanted my situation financially to change, I had to look inside of me at what was creating my financial situation, what were the beliefs, what were the limitations I was putting on myself, and how then I could start to break those beliefs, change that story, and create a new financial situation for myself. And that's what I did. I had to become very aware of some of the thoughts I had, how I was spending money, how it was making me feel, the perception, the jealousy, the envy, the passive aggressiveness toward people who already were successful, people who are so better than me, when I was comparing myself. So all these kind of things, all the judgments that I had around money, rich people, people who had money, people who were more successful, I had to really become aware, and I really had to go deep and change a lot of those beliefs, a lot of those emotions, a lot of those stories that are constructed. So you see, changing your relationship with money is a deep work. But eventually, as I was starting to change my relationship, the business started to grow, my finance started to change, I started to attract more people, I started to change the dynamic that I need to work hard to make money, or that I'm not worthy to make money, or that I should not show how much money I have. And so progressively, as my relationship with money changed, my whole financial condition in my external life started to change. And this is the main point that I want you to remember, is that if you're not lacking, or if you're stagnating in your relationship with money right now, experiencing lack and scarcity, you must really look at your story with money and your relationship with money. And so here's how you can go about it. I want you to start by becoming self-aware of a couple of things. The first thing is, what is your financial situation like for the last 2 years, for the last 5 years? Is it the same Meaning if you look 5 years back and then every year since then, is it you making pretty much the same amount of money, having the same similar conditions, or is it increasing or is it decreasing? What is the main pattern? What is the big picture? Because that alone can show you whether you're stagnating, whether you're improving, or whether you're decreasing. So look at the last 5 years and notice how much money you've been making, how is it growing, and how you really feel about money. The second question to really look into it is, how do you feel on a daily basis around money? Do you feel like it's never enough? Are you counting money? Are you, do you always have like money on your mind, scarcity or lack in your mind? Or do you feel indifferent? Do you feel like you're well provided? You have a lot of money, you spend it freely? How do you feel on a day-to-day around money? What is the emotion? When you see a bill, when you have to pay for something, when you have to buy a certain ingredient, do you look for the price tag? Do you always look to save money, or you count money, or do you spend scarcely? All of these represent your relationship with money. The next thing I want you to pay attention is, how do you spend money? Whether it's a bill, whether it's your grocery, whether it's a night out, whether it's a pizza, whatever it may be. Are you grateful for what you buy and the service you get and how you circulate that money? Or do you feel tense when you have to, give the card or give the cash? Do you feel tense? Do you feel you're worried? Do you make time to make that decision? Do you try to calculate? Do you look for a cheaper alternative? The way you spend money is the way you circulate money. I want you to remove the word spending money and I want you to replace it with the word circulate money. How you circulate money always comes back to you. So if you circulate it, thinking that it's never gonna come back, thinking that you're gonna have less, thinking that you're stressful and you're anxious and you don't know where money is gonna come from, you're gonna experience more of that because that energy will come right back at you. So I want you to, if you already decided that you're gonna spend that money, I want you to appreciate the thing that you're buying, whether it's a pizza, a bottle of water, your internet bill, whatever it may be. Take a moment to appreciate you spending that money and bless that money wherever it goes, knowing that it's going to come back blessed in your life. That is one powerful way to change your relationship and your energy around money. The next thing I want you to look into is that, how worthy do you feel of having a lot of money, of being rich, of being well provided, of having all of it and more than enough, of having wonderful, phenomenal wealth? How worthy do you feel? Because your level of self-worth is equivalent to how much money you make. If you don't feel worthy for that nice holiday, for that big car, for that big amount of money in your bank account, even if you receive that money, you're gonna get rid of it somehow. That's why people who, often, the story, they win a lot of big money and in less than 5 years, they go back to exactly where they were. Because subconsciously, the self-image, the self-worth was not worth that amount. It was worth exactly what they were. And so they always go back, they gravitate back to their old self-image. So one of the most important things that you can do in shifting your story is to start to affirm that I am worthy of enormous wealth, I am worthy of enormous success, I am worthy of having money work for me, I am worthy of money, I'm worthy of financial security, I'm worthy of earning more, I'm worthy of so much more. Your self-worth, about what is your main intrinsic value, how much you have to give, how much you have to offer, how much you're worthy of being paid for what you do, even being paid for doing nothing. It has all to do with you first believing that you are worthy, because you are. So I want you to start talking about money and your self-worth differently. I want you to start affirming. I want you to start submitting to yourself and to your mind positive affirmations around money. I am worthy of a lot of money. Money flows into my life. Money loves me. Money serves me. Money works hard for me. I see myself with a lot of money. I see myself doubling my income. I see myself having a successful business. I see myself getting a promotion. Use those words, those sentences. Repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. The next thing that you can do is to look at what and who you judge for what they have and the money they make and the success they have. If you judge people who have more money than you, who have more success, more possession, more nice things than you have, what you're literally saying is that I don't want this. This is not for me. Your subconscious mind takes everything personally. Stop gossiping, to stop judging, and to instead bless them, thank them for showing you the abundance that is available and possible for you also. And finally, the last thing I invite you to do to change your relationship and your story with money is to use what is called seeding money. In a lot of the books, whether it's Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, and all these kind of money books and success books, they will always tell you, give more and you will receive more. And a lot of the thing is about giving 10% of your income to a charity, to a foundation, to people who need, and to send that money, to seed that money, knowing that it will come back to you tenfold. Okay? And if you see a lot of successful rich people, they give a lot of the money, they give a part of their income, and they expect it to come back multiplied. That is what is known as tithing or seed money. The principle is this: if you are afraid to give, you are in scarcity, you're in lack, you are demonstrating that you believe that there is not enough in this universe for you. But you can only give what you have. So as you go and you give generously 10%, 5%, however you feel comfortable right now to give 5 or 10% of your income, of what you earn, to a foundation that you think will do very good to your community, to whatever cause you feel called to give, or whatever people you feel called to give it, release it, and then expect mentally that money to circulate back to you tenfold increased. And if you do that and then you forget about it, I guarantee you, you will see that money, abundance, prosperity, opportunity to get more money flow back in your life. It's one of the most powerful things. I always give 10% of whatever amount of money I make, and I guarantee you, I always get more money coming my way. This is something that you have to experience, because logically it makes no fucking sense. I know. But every rich people know, every successful people that you read in biography or in podcasts, they will tell you the more you give, the more comes back to you. They might not know why or how it works, but the more you give and the more you let that money circulate back to you, expecting it to come back under grace tenfold, I guarantee you that it will. And so as you start to give more, you also overcome that fear of death, that fear of not having enough, that fear of surviving, that fear that is crippling you from bringing more abundance in your life. And so those are a few ways that you can start to use to change your relationship and your story with money. So to sum up, it has all to do with becoming self-aware about your relationship with money right now. What do you believe? What do you see? How do you judge people? What are the words? How do you speak about money? What are the thoughts that are dominant in your mind relating to money? And then start speaking differently about money, about how much money is possible for you, how worthy you are, how loving money is, how blessing of money is in your life, and so on, right? Start to affirm, speak positive words about money and how you want it to experience, and really change that conversation in your mind. And then use those different tools of circulating money with gratitude and appreciation. Every time you give money, then spend seed money, stop judging other people. All these kind of things will help you, I guarantee you, in transforming your relationship with money. So I hope this video helps you guys in transforming your relationship with money, attracting more abundance in your life. Let me know what you think down in the comments, guys. I will see you in my next video. As always, like, share, and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this.